Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, it is springtime here in Western North Carolina, and it's the start of riding season. Although I did ride in December, January, and February. Not long, not for many days, but I did ride even though it was cold. The coldest I did ride in was 29 degrees, and it felt like 27. I have a screenshot that I'll put in the comments or in here to see. I'll show you that I did ride it that day. I rode it to work. So one thing I want to know from you guys in the wintertime, if you did ride, write it in the comments. What was the coldest temperature that you've ridden this last winter or in the past in general? I'm really curious to see what type of temperature you guys ride in, and if it's a frequent thing that you guys do, or it's just once in a while. I do it once in a while because it gets way too cold up here, and it does snow, and I'm not riding my bike in the snow. So this weekend, I did an epic ride up to Caesar's Head State Park in South Carolina. My buddy Vintage 77, which you'll see right here, him and I both went up to Caesar's Head State Park. We went to the overlook. Tons and tons of fog. It was really, really cool to ride through the fog, to tell you the truth. I didn't get as much footage as I wanted to, but we did ride down Caesar's Head all through the twists and turns, and we went up through Rosman, all the way up through Brevard. It was just a great ride, a real fun time riding and giving this bike as much as I can and doing those twisties to my ability. It was great. A lot of turns, a lot of twists, all that stuff. And Vintage 77, shout out to him because he took me the whole way. I'd never been that way, so he knew where he was going, and I like those kind of rides because you just ride and follow the leader basically. But there's one thing that I did find out this weekend riding this bike right here. And you know what that is? What is it? You're probably asking yourself, what is it? What is it that one thing about this bike that I found out? Well, I kind of knew this, but this weekend has kind of reinforced that about this bike. And this bike is a Kawasaki Vulcan 900 Classic LT. I don't have the windshield. I didn't have it when I bought it, but this bike is very uncomfortable to ride. Yep, I said it. Some people might be looking into buying this bike. Mine's used. It has a stock seat. Maybe it has a little bit to do with it. It does hurt my, sitting on it for so long. And it's only long rides. Like if I go back and forth to work or riding around town, it's not that bad. But if I'm going for 2 hours, 3-hour rides on this bike, you got to go lay down. And I don't know if that's your case with your bike, but for me, I want to try to make it better. I want to buy a new bike, but I don't want to have the payments of a new bike. So anyways, my thing is like, how can I make this bike better without spending a whole lot of money, right? And the one thing that I did do is that I bought a windshield, and it's right here. It is a Puig or Puig windshield. It's a small windshield. It's not as big as I wanted to. The bracket and the mounting system is kind of weird, but here's the brand name. Let me get the actual box for it so you can see it. It's a Puig, something like that, and that's the brand it is. This is the box it came in. Here's the name of it right here, if you can zoom in or take a screenshot of that and take a look at that and see what kind that one is. It was kind of cheap. It was like $130 or whatever, but I want to try to make this bike a little bit more comfortable to ride on, and that's one of the things I want to do, is take away all the wind that's hitting me when I'm riding. Because I tell you what, when I was riding, I wear a full face helmet right now, and another thing I want to do is have a half helmet, and doing this windshield might help me. But one thing about it is, like, when I ride, all that wind's hitting me, and my neck is hurting after so long, and not just accounting the seat being so uncomfortable. My neck is hurting because I'm sitting and I'm hurting. So I want to try to do something to make something a little bit better. So my dilemma with this bike here is that there's speakers on the handlebar now. So as you can see right here, there are 2 speakers on my handlebars, and I already tried to put this windshield on here with these speakers in the way, and it does not work. It does not mount up. I do have a highway bar or a crash bar. So what I'm going to do is take these speakers and I'm going to move them over here onto here facing upwards, and then put my windshield or windscreen, whatever you want to call it, right here on this. That way I can ride and have a little bit more comfort. So the one thing I got to do is take these speakers and put them on the crash bar. I'm not going to bore you with that. Then mount my steering, or mount the the windshield onto the steering wheel. So I'm not going to bore you with all that, like I said. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the footage that we did do riding through Caesar's Head, so for you guys can enjoy it. When you come back, this will be done and you can see how it looks. Quick note, here's how the bike looks without the windshield on it at all. Alright, so one thing has happened, problems. I took the bracket off for the speaker and I ran into a whole bunch of problems. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so I took off the bracket for the speaker, and the wire's going through the holes that kind of keeps it tight, and here's the speaker hanging. So I thought maybe, well, what if I just take off these two hex head bolts and maybe just plugs and unplugs, and I can thread it through my holes here, and then I can, you know, clamp it here and then rethread it and do all the other stuff. Well, that doesn't work like that. It's hardwired into the speaker, and this is hard wire going all the way back. So what I did do is I traced it all underneath, which I'm not going to show you everything, but it's traced all the way back, and I came and popped the seat off, and this is the mess that's in here. Here's the controller for it, turns the volume up and down and power on and off. But look at this mess. The person that did it basically clamped or cut the wires to put a hot in. This is the hot for the speakers, and it's just a exposed wire like that. This other one is all chopped up and exposed too, and it's plugged in, I believe, right here. So I'm going to take this all apart. And I think I'm going to get rid of the speakers for right now and then figure it out another day, because this is a mess. Alright, so I got everything all disconnected, just for reference if anyone's trying to do this themselves. This is a fused line. This is the feed for the speaker, so nothing happens. One was plugged into the positive and one was plugged into the negative. And here is the mess that is in there. I'm not sure why this is even unhooked here, but that is unhooked. Maybe that's something to do with something else. And then this plugs into here, and then you pull that out, and these two are the speakers for the hot, and this is the loop, I guess, connecting all the speakers back and forth. And I gotta unplug that and then pull this all through, because he's got it, the person that did it has it wire tied here, and I think there's a wire tie underneath here. Then I gotta pull the speakers basically out of the I had to put my glasses on to see this too, because, you know, my eyes ain't the best. So I had to pull all this stuff out that way and get rid of all that. The bike does still have power. I did confirm that. I didn't see if it started yet. It's in neutral, might as well see. Yeah. Okay, so I didn't disconnect anything that needed to be disconnected. Very, very frustrating to see all this, and just for a windshield, but whatever. So I'll put this windshield, I'll get this all unconnected, pull all this through, save it for later, and get the windshield on. All right, it's all on. Here's the windshield. I had to mount it on the handlebars like so, and I had to make sure that I had enough room and clearance for the, when I turn the handlebars, that those rods basically do not hit the tank or this fascia, whatever you want to call it, and they do not. It's out a little far, as you can see. I got about a fist or so more in there, but the only thing left to do now is take it out for a spin and see how I like it. All right, daylight's fading fast, so let's see how this windshield does. Right now I can tell you I'm not a big fan of how small it is. Is it taking some of the wind away? Yes. From my other windshield, or from my no windshield experience, I think it's hitting me about eye level. And I think that's about where I want to be at. If I can even read down and be this low, I don't feel any wind right here. So I do have something to hide underneath of, if I needed to like duck real quick to get out of something. I don't feel no wind right there. I don't feel any wind, just about up to my eyes, up to my eyebrows I should say. It's not wide, that's for sure. I can feel everything coming on the side of it, and it's coming to hit my chest a little bit in my arms, but it is taking a lot of the wind off of my my head and all that, and my chest I should say. Not all of my chest. My arms are still getting wind, but my chest is not, so that is good. I think I'll keep it. I'm gonna have to keep it actually. I already opened up, and they only accept returns in an unopened condition, unused, unopened. So in the short run, it's worth it, I think. I wish it was a little bit wider. It'd probably take more wind off, but at least it's taking some of the wind off initially. All right, there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.